Reality recap.
Hi, Evelyn. Yes, I know you have the reunion. Yes, we have 2 more episodes. And then we have the reunion of
I look like the slay. I look like a mom. She was like, you the one that look like you got a high body count hair. I fell the fuck out, y'all.
Candace, has Deborah reached out to you to apologize after the episode aired showing Chris did not flirt with her?
She wouldn't dare. She would get eaten for breakfast.
Oh boy.
No, she's doubling down.
Why would you go meet with Ray J without talking to Princess or letting her know why? Like, she's trying to justify that she told her after the fact and not supposed to make it.
What do you think of your ex-husband Jim coming out and saying you did not try to stop him from suing Shannon and Cameron?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, if his memory is a little foggy about what transpired back then, that's okay. However, he did admit that I had nothing to do with the...
Reality recap. Reality recap.
What's up, y'all? Happy Monday. It is your girl V with Reality Recap here for another live Tea Talk session. Today, we are talking about last night's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. The information for the episode, in case you're looking for it on other streaming platforms, this is June 22nd episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 16. And the title of the episode was Chicken and Waffles, honey. So we're going to get into it. Before we do, let's take care of business. If you're watching live from Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, the chats are live. So make sure to interact. Let me know your thoughts on last night's episode as I give you my unsolicited thoughts. Also, please hit those like buttons, hit those thumbs up, hit those hearts, like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Why don't I have that going across the screen? I don't know, but let's put that across the screen, honey. Reality Recap 2876 is how you find me on YouTube. It's also a link in my bio on Instagram and on Facebook. And make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, what you see here on the screen, Reality Recap, Reality_recap, so you get all the latest news on all your happening reality trending shows, honey. The TV piping hot. Now, I do have an announcement for Facebook, guys. I have to move away from posting my episode clips, highlights, sneak peeks, because they're trying to flag your girl and cut off my money, honey. And we can't have that. So it's original content only on Facebook. I'll post episode highlights where I can. It seems like it's mostly Bravo that's giving me the trouble, but y'all know I still got you for Love After Lockup. Life After Lockup, which is starting in August. I got you guys, so don't worry. But follow me on Instagram if you still want to get those episode highlights and everything like that. But original content, honey. They trying to say the copyright stuff. You already know how it go. So yeah. Let's get into this episode though. And don't forget, chat's alive. Let me know your thoughts. Let's get into it. So let's just start off. Well, this is where we started off in the episode with Shamia. She took her daughter to the doctor after she returned from Grenada. Shamia said she came back with strep throat. She wanted to make sure she didn't give it to her daughter, which she did not. Her daughter tested she tested her daughter for strep throat and she did not have it. So thank God for that. Her daughter is doing well. I wanted to address, because I thought it was so funny how the producers were asking Shamia, why you always got Shiloh face? Like, why you always got your children's face so greasy? And that is a Black thing. And I agreed with what she said. Like, if the more grease on your face, the more love they pouring into you. Because I be looking at pictures of my daughter, both of my daughters, like last Christmas, they took a picture with the with the Santa Claus at the school. When I tell you their face was so greasy, y'all, I said, like, I don't know. I think that's part of the reason why Black don't crack, because we use a lot of that Vaseline, honey. So I was cracking up with that. I just thought it was so on brand for us, because we definitely love that grease on the face. They did a check-in with Phaedra last night as well. And her son, Dylan, first of all, both of her sons are so tall and growing up. And it's like, we remember when Phaedra was on the show doing a maternity shoot, eating pickles with Apollo. And here we are with her children flourishing in high school and middle school. And her son Dylan, the one she called Mr. President, if you don't remember, but that's what she used to call him. He started his own clothing company. He's sewing and he made some pants last night that were really dope, like some snakeskin cargo pants. It was just good to see. First of all, I felt old because that means I've been watching the show that long, but just good to see young Black boys flourishing. Phaedra just so proud of them. I thought that was so dope. So Phaedra is in this episode hosting she called it a black glove event. Never heard of a black glove event. Black tie, yes, but she had a black glove event where she was showcasing furs, and she wanted to showcase some of Dylan's pieces in her show. And I just thought that was so dope. He was so excited, and just seeing him and his older brother kind of going back and forth, like negotiating percentages, and him being the manager. I just thought that was so dope. I really did. So, Phaedra was so proud of him, of both of her sons, and that was just cool to see. We then see Kelly she went to court hoping to finalize her divorce, and it did not happen. Apparently the judge allotted her a certain amount of time, or them a certain amount of time, to finalize the divorce and get it done. They went over time, and the divorce was continued, or it's going to be a continuation. And her estranged husband at the time also was locked up again for child support. But I don't know. These are all things we already know and that have already played out. So I'm not too interested in this whole like Kelly husband thing. Hi, Lily. Thank you for checking in on YouTube. Appreciate you. Yes, you are on time. We're just getting started. We are talking about Kelly going to court. Just before that, we just talked about Shamia going to the doctor with her daughter, and Phaedra's check-in where we saw her sons designing. So, yeah, short hair, you love it. This is my natural hair. I don't wear my natural hair out often, but lately I've been giving a breather because, y'all, there's a whole nother story what I'm going through with this eczema and my scalp, y'all. It is out of control. I was crying to the dermatologist last week, but thank you. But yeah, Kelly's divorce isn't final. They went over time, and her estranged husband at the time was locked up for not paying child support. And I told you guys, like, all of this is kind of already unfolded. Him going to jail, being held in contempt, and this for the court, going to court and being locked up for not paying child support. The last I've heard of, their divorce is finalized, but the last I heard was her ex-husband was now going back to court asking for child support to be lowered because he ain't getting that chicken and waffle money no more. He wanted a lower child support payment. He said his income has drastically changed. And then he also was trying to pull a Simon with a cease and desist because I guess he felt like the storyline or how he's being portrayed on the show by Kelly, of course, he doesn't agree with. But I'll check and see where those motions are, because there was no update the last time I checked. But that's what he was trying to accomplish. But I told you I'm not really interested in that. I'm really not. We thought, or so not us, but Kelly thought that the crystal broke in Grenada, symbolizing an end to the relationship with her husband. But I'm starting to think it was the end of the friendship with Brittany is why that crystal broke, honey. That's what I'm thinking. And during this whole, after she came home from court, Shamia came over. Side note, when did Shamia and Brittany get so close? No, it's not Shamia. It's Shamia and Kelly. When did they get so close? Because, she's coming in and, oh, how's my nieces? And I'm saying, y'all know each other like that? I know they was at the pool and popping bottles and planning the trip to Grenada. I don't know when that happened. It's like I blinked and now they're the new freaking frack. I don't know, or trying to be. But anyway, Shamia visits her to check on her after her divorce hearing. Angela calls to check in as well. But surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, after Grenada and the whole donations beef and Glam Squad beef is underway, Kelly had not heard from Brittany, checking in on her with her divorce hearing and just seeing how she was doing. So Kelly was feeling some type of way about that. But Kelly also in this episode hosted a cook-off between her and Charles Oakley, Angela's husband. They are making waffles, but then Angela's like, but bro, you got your own waffle line. So they said, okay, blank canvas is the waffle, but then we're gonna do some type of banana a la mode. Don't get me the line. Some banana something on top. And that is what they were that's what they were judging Charles and Kelly on. Lily said, did you hear that Andy looked annoyed by Shamia and Kelly? Are you talking about on Watch What Happens Live? Because they asked Cynthia and Angela on Watch What Happens Live last night. They asked who was he most, they were asking like, they're asking them questions about the reunion and asked them, who do you think Andy was most annoyed with at the reunion? And they said Shamia and Kelly. And when they said it, he was like, no one annoys me. So he didn't really answer the question, but I don't know. His facial expression said they might have been right on point. But yeah, that was on Watch What Happens Live last night. But yeah, so at this cook-off, it ended up being a tie on the cook-off. First of all, Charles seemed so excited about this cook-off. I told y'all in the clip I posted this morning, he seemed more excited about the cook-off than he did about his anniversary or Angela at any point in, in this season at all. But he loves competition. I guess he was so excited to do the competition, and he was talking smack in his interview, like, yeah, just because you're on the restaurant don't mean you can cook. And it ended up being a tie. I think, nobody wanted to ruffle any feathers with Charles Oakley, but it ended up being a tie. Now, things that stuck out to me at the cook-off was definitely Phaedra has a weird vibe towards Charles. She already came in kind of hot with Angela, calling her the youngest looking old person or the oldest looking young person she ever seen, and talking about how nobody knows that he has a wife. She's a secret wife. And when she saw him last night, it was like, oh, hey, haven't seen you in a while. I'm like, did they used to mess around? Now, I heard that he used to talk to Sheree, allegedly. But their tension is weird. Do you guys see that? Do you feel that? Is it just me? Please let me know. But it's something weird. And even when she ate his waffle, she was, you got any more? I was just like, girl, his wife is right here. I don't know. It's something weird there with Phaedra, and not even on Charles' end, because he always acts oblivious. That's how I guess he gets away with whatever. But it just was weird. So I clocked that. Also at the cook-off, a man named Marcus appeared out of nowhere. This was a public event, according to Kelly. So fans and people came out. It wasn't an invite only or a private cook-off. So it was, I saw bloggers, I saw Binge-Worthy, Justin, I saw him in the crowd. I saw a few other people. So it was a public event. And this guy named Marcus, he comes up to Angela and he says to her, like, yeah, I really would like to talk to you because I think I have some things to tell you about your husband, Charles, that you may not know. And she's like, okay, do I know you? Or like, no, but I own a restaurant and I really think I need to talk to you. So she's like, all right. So then they, the cook-off, they judge the cook-off and they're doing a toast. And this guy, Marcus, is like, cheers to anyone named Angela, that husband is cheating on them. Now, Charles is standing over there. And what I saw, just from my view, when this guy Marcus came in, I saw they panned to Charles and he immediately face went down. Like immediately Charles saw the guy and his face went down. And I was like, it was given he knew this guy Marcus. Hey Toria, thank you for checking in on Facebook. How are you? But yeah, it's giving. He knew this guy Marcus. Now I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret, but I ain't gonna say too much. All I'm gonna say is people are in my DMs and they have been in my DMs. I didn't go searching for anyone. That's all I'm going to say. I didn't go searching for anyone, but people are in my DMs and they want to come on this platform. However, for you to come on this platform, you must provide me with receipts. No receipts, no interview. But we'll see what comes about. Last conversation in my DMs was about the upcoming season finale. So we're going to see how that goes and we'll go from there. But all I can say is I did not go looking for nobody. Found me. Okay? Now, right. Oh, so Tori, you agree? There's no way Charles didn't hear that man. Yeah, I to me it seemed like he knew him when he came in and his face dropped Toria. And then also it looks like there's no way he didn't hear that. If Angela and all of them heard it and they were further down than Charles, he heard that. It came off to me like he just didn't want to hear it. They asked him on Watch What Happens Live. By the way, they asked Charles a lot of questions on Watch What Happens Live. One of them being, did he hear the information? He said no. They asked him, why doesn't he wear his wedding ring? He says as he got older, he lost weight and he goes to the gym and stuff and didn't want to lose it. He says he lost 3 rings already. They also asked, how does he feel about the perception he gives off on the show that he doesn't really care for Angela? And he said, it doesn't matter what we think. It matters what Angela thinks. So then Andy said, well, Angela, what do you think? And she said, which was very telling, it bothered me that he didn't wear a wedding ring before, but we have other things to argue about now. Huh? I don't know. But he say he losing weight. And that's why he don't wear the rings, because he don't want to lose them. He put his hand up and I don't know, it looked like, I don't know what Angela called it, but he almost looked like he had carpal tunnel or something, like his hand with his fingers were kind of bent. And she was saying, show him your hands. And that's why you don't wear your ring. And he was like, he had already showed it when he was going like this, like, yeah, I lost weight. And then when she said that, he put his hands down and wouldn't show it. But it looked like this finger up here was kind of like bent like this, but nothing wrong with the ring finger. I don't know. Maybe it comes from basketball, working out a lot. I don't, is what they call it. Maybe they call it basketball hands. Hell if I know. But it didn't look like anything to me was wrong with his ring finger. But those was his words on Watch What Happens Live last night. So you take what you want from that. Tori said, I was shocked he showed up for her on Watch What Happens Live. His fingers look like the penguin from back. Oh my God, let me put this comment down, girl. I don't know what's going on. But even with that, Tori, it looked like it was just the index finger, not the ring finger. It was just that one that was kind of looking like this, like it was bent like that or something. I'm not trying to make any fun of him, but not penguin, girl. Here you go. You're banned from having your comments up here. Say, oh, Angela, I hope the rumors aren't true. Listen, I hope they aren't either. I never want to see a marriage demise. I don't set out for that. I told y'all I don't go looking for this stuff. These people found me. These people be finding me. I really don't go out seeking to demise anybody's marriage. I really don't. But yeah, so that's what he was saying on Watch What Happens Live. So I'm sticking with Charles heard it. He said on Watch What Happens Live that he didn't. The girls were wondering at the cook-off as well, why wasn't Brittany there? And Kelly's telling them, I haven't heard from her, I haven't spoke to her, and they're prying like, nah, but y'all cool. Y'all cool. Where's she at? And she said, I haven't heard from her. Well, Britt was busy hosting her own party. She has Cynthia and Portia over. I put in my notes to have her over to the Holy Grail. They finally got an invite. All of this, she wants to get to know him. She took heed to Phaedra's advice in Grenada about getting her charcuterie board out and having people over. She want to make connections if you want to basically continue on this show. That was before the lawsuit that she filed. But also, I read something interesting about this lawsuit before we move forward. The lawsuit that Brittany filed against NBC. Now, I don't know the correct terminology. Tori, maybe you can help me, or anyone else if you want to help me out. I don't know the correct terminology, but the bottom line, it seems like she's filed this suit, but it's like in a pending status where she hasn't provided additional details, proofs to back up her lawsuit. It's like in a pending status. It's not like it's been filed and NBC and Bravo has been served. It's not at that state. She just put in the paperwork to file the lawsuit, but then there's like follow-up steps that she's supposed to take, and she hasn't done that. So Brittany is becoming more vocal on Instagram. She's finally started to post ever since the reunion debacle and the lawsuit news dropped. She really hasn't posted. She may have put one or two things, like on Father's Day, she posted about her late father and her story, but now she's pretty bold on Instagram. She put up a picture of her from the black tie event, black glove event, last night, and with her sheer dress, and she said, this is why everybody's mad. She put up another post prior to the episode saying like, I'm used to standing alone. So she getting real bold and tough on the internet. But I was about to say divorce. This lawsuit is like in a pending status. It really hasn't gone anywhere. Like Bravo, NBC, they haven't even been served. So I'll keep you updated on that, but that's the last I've seen. It seems like she likes to stir up controversy, in my opinion, want to get the people talking, but where's her proof, receipts, timelines? It ain't been submitted yet, y'all. But back to Brittany's event that she had last night. She invited Cynthia and Portia over, and she's telling Cynthia and Portia about the Glam Squad beef. I'm exhausted by that we're spending the season talking about a Glam Squad beef. But Brittany is saying that she started using the Glam Squad, which Kelly offered to her when they were in Nashville. She's saying that Kelly got jealous that her outfits weren't looking as good as Brittany, that she was feeling second best, and that Kelly told the Glam Squad to no longer work with Brittany. Kelly's saying on her side that, look, I thought I was letting you use them until you get your own Glam Squad, but you absolutely cannot full-time use everybody, every single person on my Glam Squad. Now, why they couldn't have a conversation about that is beyond me. Why the Glam Squad had to be called and tell them don't work with Brittany, or hold a meeting and y'all couldn't just talk about, hey, overuse of my Glam Squad, I can help you find some people, recommend you, blah, blah, blah. Why this is a thing is beyond me. I really don't understand. But that's where Brittany stands. She's saying like, okay, so your Glam Squad can't work with me, but now they're working with Shamia. So is that Kelly's love language, to hand out her Glam Squad all over the place when she likes you as a friend? And it was obvious to me. I told you guys that Shamia, her dress started to change. I don't know what that wrinkled orange dress was she wore to Kelly's house to console her after her divorce hearing. But I told you guys she's wearing a lot of everything's Balmain, Dior, 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 blah, blah, blah. And labels don't give you fashion. Labels don't mean you can dress. It's not on you, it's in you. And I'm still not sold on her fashion. So even with the glam squad that, in my opinion, I don't really care for Britney. They've been making her look good on the show. And when she did her press tour in New York, when she went to Watch What Happens Live and a couple other daytime shows, she looked really good. So, yeah, she's saying that Kelly stopped them from working with her, but letting them work with Shamia. Now, I was side-eyeing Britney at this whole charcuterie board event with no charcuterie. How dreadful. But she used the opportunity to let Portia know that, yeah, you may think you and Kelly are so cool, but I've seen all your text messages. I know that whatever was in those messages that you shared with her, about your conversations you had with your lawyer, which Portia corrected and said it wasn't with my lawyer, it was with my therapist. But it was clear that Britney had most likely seen text messages between Portia and Kelly. There's something to be said about when you're beefing with a friend and they use that opportunity to go tell everyone what was said about you in a friend group. It makes me look at you crazy. You may think that I'm going to look at Kelly crazy, which I am, that she's sharing this stuff and behind the back. But let's be honest, we all share stuff with our girlfriends, our close girlfriends, because you're thinking that you're going to be friends forever. And when you guys, your friendship don't stand the test of time and you go telling what was said when we were close, is a side eye for me, and it's weird. Because if you will do that to that person, what you gonna do to me? So I really wanted Portia to read her for that, but Portia's not giving anything life because she's so exhausted by Simon Gubadia. And I told you guys I'm really hoping for a better season for her next go round for season 17 if she returns or if she's asked back. But she was just like, you know what? I'm just going to tell you, handle the situation with Kelly the way you see fit for you. Very political answer. And I was shocked by that. Now let's rewind a little bit just from the cook-off because, Phaedra ran out of this cook-off after this guy Marcus toasted to Charles allegedly cheating on Angela, and she ran right outside and called and told Portia. And then what happened? And she said, let me get out this car. She said, let me pull off before somebody come prophesize on me. I was cracking up. Not Marcus is the prophet, honey. But she told them while they were there. But yeah, that whole situation with Britney had me looking a little side-eyed that you are gonna run and tell that you've seen Portia's text messages. Like, so if you and Kelly was cool, you wasn't gonna say nothing, and you would have kept that to yourself. So it just makes you look at her like you ain't no better. But let's get some comments in. Toria said, I wish she didn't because she could have gotten another season. I like Brit. She a straightforward person. She addressed very direct and make sure you don't deflect. She has stood strong alone. Yeah, she really didn't play her cards right in this season. Outside of the whole Kenya thing, I've already made it. I love Kenya. I think she's great for the show, but what she did, even if it wasn't Britney in the pictures, the intent was there to embarrass Britney and put those images up. So just because it wasn't her in the images, I don't think that's going to warrant Kenya being able to come back. If they do bring her back, there's going to be other just reasons why unknown to me. But no, I don't feel like what Kenya did was right. Nor do I feel like what Kelly speaking out about having her little, being a little pistol patty was right either. But I think outside of that, right, she brings drama. She cuts low when it comes to shade, she goes low. And she probably could have finessed some more seasons. Now she would have had to come up with a better storyline than this nonsense with her sisters and the husband and sisters beef. But I think from a group standpoint and her calling out Shamia saying, "Are you talking about me?" with the whole donation thing. She stood her ground there in tonight's episode, which we'll get to her beef with Kelly and her shade fest with Kelly. I feel like, yeah, she might have could have got another season or two out of it. And she does dress well. She is a gorgeous woman. People tend to flock towards that. So I agree. Tori said, I didn't like that part that Britt dragged them into her stuff, even though she was telling the truth. Yeah, she was telling the truth for sure. But it just makes me look at you side eye that you're running and telling your closest friends business and what you were involved in as well, and probably wouldn't have never said nothing about if you wasn't not cool with Kelly. Instagram was trying to crazy but cool Latina. Oh, crazy but cute Latina 999 said Britt is the type of person that she needs someone with her, but once they have a falling out, she runs and cop pleas with the other girls. Agreed. Yeah, she cool with you, but then when y'all not cool, she gonna tell all your business and everything that you said about the other girls in the group to try to get them on her side. Totally agree. But after that whole situation, we go to Phaedra's event. Why is Phaedra calling Kelly strawberry shortcake? Like, I know why, but why? Why is she doing that? Why is she calling this grown woman strawberry shortcake? Like, stop with the you have a session for little people and calling her these names. Like, girl. So disrespectful. But anyway, we are at Phaedra's fur event. Drew is standing outside, locked out because she didn't get there on time, even though she sent a video of traffic to Phaedra. Phaedra ain't got her phone. She running around trying to get her event together. So she's outside knocking on the door, eating the police officer's chicken wings. He was fine, but his chicken bones were in that plate, people. And she grabbing chicken from a man she don't know with his chicken bones that he done put in his mouth, laying right next to the one chicken piece chicken you took. Y'all know how I am about the germaphobe in me was like, y'all know how I am. You know how I am. But anyway, Drew is locked outside. Angela is telling the world that she has alleged mob ties, in my opinion. Exactly, Torio. Like, bleh. I'm already on high alert because Love Island and all the kissing and milk spitting they doing. So seeing that last night just took me over the edge. But he said Drew knocking was funny. But yeah, Drew's outside. The ladies are inside, and Angela is recapping what happened at the cook-off, letting them know about what Marcus said at the cook-off. And she's telling the whole world that she basically sent someone after the guy Marcus. She's talking about something. No, we just have people that care about us. Like, girl, did you really send someone to threaten him and telling us on national TV? But she says they have people, her and Charles have people that care about them, and they did some investigation on Marcus. They went to pay him a visit, and that Marcus allegedly said that he was paid to come to the event and say those things about Charles. Who he was paid by, not disclosed last night. But that's what she's saying happened when she investigated Marcus, found out who he was, the restaurant that he owns, and somebody pulled up to the restaurant and questioned him, and that's what he said. Lily said, reminds me of the time they were late to Nini's house in LA. And she left him outside in the driveway. All the time Phaedra and Candy were late, and Candy said she wanted to pick up some food. Yes. Definitely remind me of the Nene LA situation when they was late to the dinner, honey, and she turned them right on around. But yeah, that is what Angela found out about Marcus in last night's episode and shared with the ladies. Brittany comes in. She's saying hello to everyone. She specifically speaks to Kelly. Kelly ignores her and says she hasn't heard from her, so she's ignoring her. But Kelly suggests that the person or persons that paid Marcus was probably those that weren't in attendance to the waffle and chicken cook-off, which happened to be Brittany, Portia, and Cynthia. Cynthia said, nah, we were over Brittany's house. And Kelly said, oh, really? You were? Oh, and, Brittany's saying, you could talk to me directly. I know it may be hard for you, but you could talk to me. She said, no, it's not hard at all. And Brittany uses her favorite term. So you're being very passive aggressive. Kelly says, no, I'm not passive. I'm aggressive. So then Brittany starts walking towards her. There, people are getting in between them. Drew's still knocking outside. And Brittany starts explaining the glam beef to everyone because they're going back and forth, and she's saying, like, yeah, this is over me using her glam squad when, because she always wants a sidekick, but she was jealous and insecure because, I was looking good. And Kelly hits the low blow first. That's my opinion. Kelly hits the low blow first. While Brittany is telling them about the glam beef, Kelly says, no ho, you tried to take my whole team. And Kelly says, you better talk to your pill popping roommate. She talking about Brittany's husband, y'all? I'm pretty sure that's who she was talking about. I am leery of Brittany's husband, but I didn't have pill popping on my bingo card. So here we are with not only Brittany running and telling stuff she knows about her friendship. Now, allegedly, you got Kelly hitting below the belt and saying that about her husband. Now, when you want to go there about the husbands, you already know at that point the gloves are coming off. Y'all thoughts? Because from there, that's when Brittany yells out, you want to talk about them abortions you had while married? I said, we just entered hell, ladies and gentlemen. We have entered hell. Y'all thoughts? Let me know. Let me know, y'all, because you talk about somebody's husbands, somebody's children, the gloves come off. Tori said, no, it's not your opinion, it's fact. Kelly did hit low blow first. I mean, it's just my thoughts. I gotta get yours. We respect everybody's thoughts around here. Lily said, what's the tea on her man? Is he DL? It's all alleged, Lily. There's this guy with no proof, no receipts, who did an interview with Tasha K saying that her husband was on a DL, but he had no proof. So I don't believe that. The streets, Toria has also always said that Britt's husband is an investor. Some people say he's in the oil business. Somebody came in my comments saying that the oil business is something hard to get into. There's only a handful of people in the oil business, and that Brittany husband ain't one of them. But it's a mystery to me, clearly, what he does. It's not like he posts like he's going to work or his business entrepreneurship. When articles were written about Brittany coming on the show, even the Bravo interview said like it wasn't really clear or not a lot of information on what her husband does. So I don't know if there's any truth to any of it, the pill popping, the DL, the Drew did an interview with Carlos King and said that he has a checkered past, as if he may have been a street pharmacist in his past. Not saying that's what he does in his present. He's a mystery to me, to be honest. Toria said, no, he's a that's what you said, not investor, developer, and he sells private jets. You said, and Toria said, I found a site and he actually had one for sale this year. Just one? Or that was that when you looked? And now his eye is tore up. Didn't I say I was banning for putting your comments up here? But you found the site with just one jet for sale? Is he building them first and then selling them? Send me the site, Toria. I want to see. Is it a used plane? Let me see. Send it over. DM it to me, girl. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff being said, Lily, about him. He's a mystery to me. One jet, Toria. Send me the site, please, Toria. One jet, okay. But yes, agree with you. Both of them are wrong. Both of them are showing their true friendship colors. And I personally wouldn't want to get close to neither one of them or tell them any of my personal business, because they are showing, both of them are showing us how they're going to treat you or any information you share if y'all have a falling out. I don't want to be friend neither one of them. Not saying they would want to be friends with me either. But I just don't like, we not friends no more. I just move on. I don't have time to spread gossip about you. I'm just moving on. So both of them hit a low blow. You talked about the husband, you talked about the abortions. What confused me though was Kelly says, and then Kelly went even lower, by the way, by saying, you can't even have kids. Now we sit next to Lucifer. Like, we entered hell and now we sitting directly next to Lucifer at this point, that we cannot go for people's fertility issues. I hate when people do that. But she says you can't even have kids. So we've entered hell and we sat down right next to Lucifer. Okay? But yeah, like they're sending their low blows. Kelly's getting loud. She's saying, I gotta get out of here. But at the end of the day, they both are showing their true colors. That's how I felt. You know, Kelly got the hell out of Dodge with Kennedy. I was saying Kennedy. Kenny, the security guard, got right on out of Dodge and went to another room. And she, not that she confused us or confused me, but she said, I had my tubes tied after the twins. So how am I having abortions? So I just, in my head, I'm reading through the lines because people get slick with their words. I'm saying, so did you have the abortions before you got your tubes tied, before you had the twins? That's an option. Not saying it was true, but you didn't answer the question and you didn't provide anything that says that what she said was not true. That's all I'm saying. So not that it was confusing, it was like, that's not really providing anything. Not saying that she has to provide that to us. It is her body, her choice. Definitely not judging her if she did have one. Brittany also didn't say, was it the husband's and you decided not to have it because you were having a tumultuous relationship? We don't know. We don't know the ins and outs. But that's the first thing that came up my mind was, so did you have it before the twins? Before the tube side? That's how I felt. BJ, bro. Hi. You came across my mind today because where the hell have you been, bro? Where have you been? I'm glad you're alive. Because usually you'll be sending me stuff, or I send you stuff, and I ain't seen you. Where have you been? But glad you good, BJ. Nice to hear from you. You had to take a break. Oh, okay. Well, I hope everything's okay. And glad that you're okay. If you're okay. I'm just assuming. But good to hear from you, bro. Yes, we do. We have to. Tori said, I am sick and tired of this Cindy Lou who twirl she got on her forehead. And I agree. She made me think she had the abortion before the tube ties. She should have never even tried to explain it. Yeah, like we didn't even have to go there. Like, so now you putting it in my head that now I got more questions. So I don't know, guys. Oh, you had to get right before, child. Don't listen. He said he gotta get right before World War III, child. Don't get me started. It was thundering here in Jersey so loud yesterday morning. I popped out by my sleep thinking something done went down in New York, child. I'm on high alert. Don't get me started. I'm on high alert. Been watching CNN all damn day, child. I don't know, but yeah, she could have just omitted that in Tori, as far as Kelly, she could have omitted that in her confessional altogether. Don't laugh at me, Tori, like you have no idea the alert that I've been on. No idea. But yeah, so they end up being separated. We actually do get to have the showcase. It goes off without a hitch. We get to see Dylan's creations, which were amazing, by the way. I hope he decides to make some pants for women too. I definitely would wear them. And even Phaedra was asking for some, and he was like, "Nah, I'm good off your making some for you, mom." He trying to make his own way, it seems like. But they finally let Drew in. And Drew comes in with Sweet Tea. Hey, Sweet Tea, we got a little cameo from Sweet Tea on last night's episode. They come in, fashion show is over, and Shamia sits down and tries to have a conversation with Brittany. Clearly, she felt justified in the things she said. Like, you're not going to call me a pill popper or my husband, and I'm not going to say anything back. She felt justified in it. Shamia did a horrible job at trying to talk her out of it. Now, what confused me is Phaedra gathered everyone because Portia didn't attend the event. She called Phaedra before the event to tell her that, unfortunately, her cousin Lundy, who we've seen on previous seasons, we saw on Portia's, her marriage special, family special that she had, her spinoff show, had passed away suddenly. It's still unclear to me what Lundy's cause of death was, but Phaedra gathers the girls together to let them know. And as always, even though they're shady, they rally together, they support each other. We saw that in Grenada with Shamia, and everyone was saying whatever needs to be done. And then Shamia bust out crying. I couldn't understand if she didn't know this information, which was telling in her friendship with Portia, although it seemed like they were doing good in Grenada. I wonder if that's going to come up next week, because Phaedra said it like, I'm sure Shamia is aware. But the way she started crying, it was like she did not know that had happened. So that was a little shocking, and that automatically caught my attention to say, is this going to become an issue in the finale next week? Lily said, one thing about Miss Feifei is she's a great mama. She definitely is, always has been. And even though her ex-husband is batshit crazy, it seems like they have a great co-parenting relationship, and that's all you really can ask for after a divorce. And Lily also said, have you seen the clips of Sweet Tea and Greg for her birthday, child, when she was doing karaoke and sliding all around his lap? Yes, I saw them. It also had me wondering, Lily, is she going to try to make a run to Real Housewives of Atlanta? Not saying she would, because it does seem like, Sweet Tea is in her content creator bag. She's joined forces with other Black doctors' wives in Atlanta, and they're doing a lot of content. They are getting brand deals for places they visit in Atlanta. Like they went to a spa and did something there. They do like candle making at another place and they promote those places. So it seems like she's more in her content creator bag. Nah, she was looking old and tired, Toria. Stop it. Was she looking old and tired in the episode or when she was dancing on Greg? Yeah, it wasn't the smoothest, sexiest dance, but he loves her and she loved him, child. So I just let him be. But I love her content page with the other doctors' wives. It's cute. They're growing. You can see their growth. And I was just wondering, is she gonna make a run for RHOA? Or is she gonna just stick into, because I was thinking she might try to get a whole nother show of just doctors' wives instead of Married to Medicine or something on another network. We might see her on WeTV. Who knows? BJ, you said, I love how you interact with all your guests. I don't like people that much, but keep up the great work. Because you know what? The people that show up and comment, BJ, are truly my day ones, my ride or die supporters. I look forward to talking to Lily, Toria, D Nice. I'm forgetting a few, honestly, on Instagram, Sativa. There's a few that show up, make me laugh, and make this even more enjoyable. And they know I appreciate them. Oh, when she was dancing with Greg, Toria, yeah. But this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta is coming to an end pretty soon. The season finale will air next week, next Sunday, and then we'll take a break. So June 29th will be the season finale. The episode is titled Game Over. Then we'll take a break for the holiday weekend, and the reunion part 1 will start July 13th. I posted that on my pages for you guys. He said she can bring Mariah over as well. I hope she should put her in her content, her Doctor's Wives group. She really should. She really should. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on episode 16. Like I mentioned, we have the season finale next Sunday. Then we'll take a break for the holiday. And then the reunion part 1 will start on July 13th. Be sure to look out for the trailer. I may not be able to post a trailer on Facebook, y'all. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. I'll put it in the story so you can get it from my story. So that's what I'm deciding to do. Original content with Facebook. I need to keep my monetization going. They already have restricted me for some of my monetization. So I'm trying to get back on their good graces. So it will be original content only. I will put the episode highlights and clips. I will forward it from Instagram and my IG stories so you can see it from there. But make sure you guys are following me on Instagram. But don't worry, Facebook, I got you. All the gossip, all the tea, my podcast episodes. I'm gonna start doing more short videos to recap the episodes and put them up for you as well. But I got you guys with all the tea. I dropped a bunch of stuff yesterday. Nene and Kenya are following each other again. Not sure what they're up to, if they're trying to plot their comeback for RHOA, or if they have other things in the works. But we previously saw when Nene has some karma comments about Kenya being, suspended, kicked off the show, whatever. But they are following each other again. Thank you, Toria. Yes, Nene and Kenya are following each other again. Love and Marriage Huntsville is on its way back. Season 10 for them will be premiering on July 19th. So a few things I dropped for you. 7 o'clock, my thoughts on Love Island will be dropping. So you guys will see my thoughts on that as well. So, Facebook, don't you worry. I got you when it comes to the tea, the recaps, everything in between. All right. So again, make sure you like this video, hit those hearts, hit those thumbs up, share this video, please, with your other platforms, in your stories, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Reality Recap 2876. It's in my bio on Instagram, Facebook, and on TikTok. And follow me on my social medias, reality_recap, for all the happening news. Thank you guys for checking in and commenting. As always, I appreciate you guys. Before I end this live, I always say, Reality TV stars are humans too. Let's not forget that. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. Highlight of Basketball Wives is up. Take a look at it. It's coming on at 8 o'clock for me, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be back tomorrow or Wednesday, because I will be on Off the Top Sports tomorrow for their monthly sports and relationship episode. I'll give you the information so you can watch that live on YouTube on their YouTube channel tomorrow. So that will be tomorrow from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check that out. But set your alerts for the Basketball Wives recap. I will be back for that, if not tomorrow, Wednesday. All right, guys. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Peace.